Go for it.
Hey you guys, it's Kevin Lyman from the Vans Warped Tour, and we're sitting on the John Lennon Bus, the singer-songwriter bus that travels around the country with us. And I'm sitting with my guest today. We came as Romans. What's happening, fellas?
Hey.
Not much.
How you feeling this morning jumping off that bus? Did it feel like Warped Tour to you guys today?
Oh, yeah. Jumping right into the steam room that is the outside.
Yeah, I mean we're back in Oklahoma City, and it's have you guys toured through here before or been here often or?
Yeah, we've been here before.
Yeah.
A couple times.
I mean, the kids were
here.
kind of demanding the show. They were like started a petition, It's like, one of the change.orgs that I actually paid attention to this year,
Yeah.
So it was good. But, you guys have now been on, I was trying to ride I was riding the bike over here. How many Warped Tours have you been on? I know in Europe we've been together.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. This is our
1 year.
third U.S. one,
Yeah.
and then we've done Europe, we've done the Australia one as well. So I guess this is 5. But I think
2013
Warped
it was
Alaska
like-
is part of this.
So it's
like
become
Warped
At
World
least 5.
Tour.
We're going to go
become,
minimum
so
5.
you're out here, and do you guys feel like, now like the veterans out here, like, you got it dialed, or does it still, is it the first couple of days kind of like, okay, we're back on?
We
Yeah,
definitely
I
got a
mean-
grip on things now. We coming in knowing that we were gonna headline on the Shark or Unicorn stage this year.
Yeah, I like that, the
Unicorns.
Unicorn.
Unishark.
The Unisharks.
We kind of got in our groove. We knew that it was gonna be a hot one and it's gonna be a long summer, but I feel like we didn't really know that the first time going in. No one really ever told us what to do.
And you
so.
guys have been going through a lot of shifts lately with your careers. You've just been kind of in a sense like you're constantly now, and every band has to constantly look at their vision. I mean, did you guys have like a big meeting, or do you think it's a natural progression, or did you guys, has it been a kind of a plan to kind of, roll out the way you are right now, or
No,
just
it hasn't been like a big plan by any means, but it's something that's just always come naturally for us. I mean, we've always been a band that's kind of taken things one step at a time and never really tried to make any crazy leaps or insane leaps of faith by any means, but just kind of one step at a time, and we've come to this point.
And now the influences of like being on the road. How many of you are married now?
None yet.
None yet?
We're
Anything in
still
the works?
scared. I don't know. I got my money on Andy.
And who's gonna be the first one that's gonna get married?
I think we got our money on Andy.
Yeah.
I definitely have my money
Andy?
on Andy.
Just off of peer pressure alone.
Yeah, I mean,
Do it.
So you don't have that dynamic.
Pure comedy. Yeah, just
Well, the rest of us were all wondering what it's like, so someone's got to do it first, so the rest of us can know if it's good
I'm
or
the
not.
guinea pig. It's cool.
Well,
He's the guinea pig.
it's interesting because that dynamic changes.
Yeah.
What's changed since what year did how old were you guys when you started a band?
16?
16. Yeah.
And we're talking
10 years.
20.
Yeah,
20
10 years.
10 years.
I mean, so it's obviously you guys have been able to keep it going around the world. I mean, I got a question here. When are you going to go to Africa?
I hope
like-
so soon.
Very soon.
I actually want to. That's like the last continent we got to go to.
Yeah,
The last
we're-
like livable.
We're dying to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting. South Africa had a pretty vibrant scene for a while. They were doing some shows, but there's some, it's getting tougher to tour overseas. I think kids don't understand a lot of times that, the dynamics of the government, the foreign taxes that you're paying, you go, the
expensive.
permits you're paying. I mean, we're sitting here right now getting ready to cross the border on the Vans Warped Tour coming up in a couple weeks, and the amount of paperwork just to cross our closest neighbors that we speak the same language with. We have a lot of friends up there. I mean, you got any great like Canadian border store?
Oh my God.
Oh,
We have so many border
I
stories.
always get stopped. They always think I'm a guy that committed a murder in like Maryland
Got
or
the same
something.
name.
Same name and birthday, and they always think I'm him. And they're like, Joshua Moore. I'm like, I'm not
not
that
him.
guy. I'm not him.
I know,
I didn't
same
do
thing
it.
with me, Josh.
Every time.
It's calmed down, but I actually showed up at the border on a Taste of Chaos tour once, and I was on the 10 most wanted list, like for Canada, and it was same birthday, same guy, and the guy's looking at a photo down below. Luckily,
Yeah.
the guy didn't look like me,
Yeah.
and it's weird. You get put in a little room there.
Yeah, every time I go up, I'm like, I'm not the guy. I'm just precursor. I know you're gonna ask me if I'm the guy. I'm
Step
not the
aside,
guy.
sir.
You have to have a shirt. We can make shirts out here. That say,
This
"I'm
is
not
the
that
guy."
and you have
Yeah,
his photo on there if you get a hold of it.
Let me in Canada.
Find him on Facebook. Add him. Be like, go away, dude. Yeah.
And you got a new album coming out, and some, I've been asked by Maddie, Jen Cat, what's the message behind your new album?
It's hard to really pick like one general message for the whole record because it's a collection of a lot of different stories. But I think The World I Used to Know, that song lyrically is a pretty good staple of what the rest of the record's about. It's just about us growing up and seeing the world in a different light than we used to. And every other song is kind of a reflection of that.
All right. I've got some requests here. People are asking, will you be going over to Europe after this? I know a lot of bands, will start, finish up Warped, either have a fall tour in the U.S. or we'll head straight over to Europe. What's your plans?
I mean, we're pretty much booked all the way for the end of the year already, but we definitely have plans. Can't talk about it, but I mean, we have plans to definitely be going overseas at some point.
Soon.
Some point
We'll just
soon.
say that.
And this is going to be a interesting thing. As I forgot to turn off my cell phone, guys. See, I'm not the best host these days, as you're trying to run a tour.
Busy man.
Yeah, so I'm just going to turn that off real quick, you guys. So I'm going to ask each one of you, what's your, most rewarding experience? It'll be probably separate for each of when, like the moment that, sometime you're in a band and you guys are touring and, you're tired, it's not all fun and games, obviously. We know that, you have a lot of fun, but what's your most rewarding experience? Let's pass this down and start at yeah.
That's a good laugh. Oh, yeah.
There you go. Let's go. Let's pass it all the way down.
All the way down.
Oh, all the way down.
Yeah.
Let's go all the way down.
Start.
There you go.
Yeah. Everyone's quiet down there.
Put Eric on the hot seat.
Hot seat.
What am I looking to hear? Just recently, we just got to play Alaska Warped, and I think we had 2 days off, and we did a bike ride like around the coast, and just kind of being able to travel and see beautiful sights like that, and being able to just experience it and be there, and being in such a different place. I think I again kind of realize this is a really awesome part of being able to do what we do. So I think.
Did they
just being able to see the world.
My secret to Alaska by sending you guys up there, did they give you a beer and show you a bear?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We saw
See,
the
when you
bears.
go to Alaska, sometimes this time of year, the hotels aren't necessarily the best because it's very expensive. We've got a lot of tourists up there. You're trying to make a show work on a budget. So the first time we sent a band up there, we got a couple calls oh my God, these hotels suck. I said, did you not show them a bear, and give them a beer? That's all you have to do. Give a band, and they don't care.
So
They forget
true.
about everything.
Yeah.
See, it's. I have little secrets of touring. It's like you got to have barbecues at times. But my Canadian secret is as quick as they can show you that bear and give you a beer. You guys are like, yeah, awesome! I'll sleep with his.
Nailed
The
it.
roaches, the birds, bed bugs are awesome.
Nailed it.
That's awesome. You guys had a great time in Alaska. We've been so busy out there. I haven't really got to talk to you guys about it, but I'm glad it went well for you.
It was so awesome. So much
All
fun.
right.
I think mine was basically the reason I started playing guitar and wanted to be in a band was watching the Used play, and we got to direct support them on a tour, and it was just life changing for sure.
You
for
took
me.
mine.
I mean, that's a pretty awesome, with Bert. Bert started out here on the Warped Tour really with some of his things, and to watch him progress as an artist and come through that dark moment, we go through life out here, and there's people that I feel, and I'm glad to hear that the Used touched you. They're a band that the first time I saw them play, I go, wow, this is a band that will transcend time, but it all came down to getting Bert through that time and that band, and it took a lot of hard work on his part, and he might not have come out on the dark side. We've lost a bunch of artists that couldn't have been, but he's come back, and now the Used is firing on all cylinders again. He's got a beautiful baby. He's got a wife who's living in Australia.
He's killing it.
I think the
Happy
Used
for him.
are that band that you're gonna That's the band. I was really happy when we announced this Taste of Chaos reunion show that he's there and people are real excited about him. But I think that's a band that a lot of you were just under them, the generation under them, and generations are short on our business. It's like 4 years, But you guys, and that's great to see. That's where'd you see him first play?
I think it was St. Andrews Hall. They played a free show,
Right.
and I skipped school to go see it. And one of my I was a freshman and a senior buddy of mine drove, and I skipped school and go see it. It was so cool.
Yeah, and was that when they still jumping off the speaker stacks?
Oh yeah, it was in the heyday. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Hey everybody. No, yeah, I think the most rewarding thing is just, I don't know, seeing kids that have lyrics tattooed on them or have just said our bands help impact or change their life in some way. It's just cool to think that, you never really know where you're going to end up at the end of the day and how things all pan out, but, it was just cool kind of chasing something that we love to do and pursuing something that we, love to do, and not only did we get somewhere, but it also helped impact someone else's life as well, or lives as well. So I think that's the coolest thing when kids are like, oh, you really helped me through this, or you really helped me do that. And it's just, it's cool to see the whole cause and effect and chain reaction of everything. So that's mine.
Man,
I was gonna say something similar. Just being able to be on stage and like have that one moment where my hair's not completely in my eyes and I can like see something, and then it's like a fan just singing the words and just into it, and having that moment of us all being together on stage like affect their lives, and you know that's something that they're gonna go home and they're gonna tell all their friends about, and we made like that one positive impact on their lives in person from only 8 feet away from the barrier or however far away it is at a show. And that's something that's awesome and really important to me. I always look for that one fan during the set, and there's always one in particular that knows all the words and is like eyes closed singing them and so into it, like the same way that I get into it. And I'm like, that is crazy that someone else can connect to these songs in the same level that we do, being the creators of the song. And it's just awesome. It's kind of indescribable. I tried, but that's
it's
kind of
interesting.
what it
I
is
always
for
have
me.
these discussions. A lot of the world I grew up in was punk rock, and and it's all that world. And I have people my age going, "Oh, those bands aren't." And I go, "Those bands are speaking the same way that the Descendants spoke to us, or GBH when I was a kid and going working punk rock shows, and it was those bands were speaking the same. You guys are speaking the same way to that generation,
Right.
And we can't judge your music, we can't judge what you're doing, because and that's when you start making mistakes, when you start judging, because it is and for me that's it. I get to cruise around a little bit, and I see those kids just as passionately have they're so into what you're doing, just like when I was growing up we were into bands.
Yeah.
It's really cool, and I think it's a gathering spot, this scene.
Oh, yeah.
We don't bands don't get on the radio, though many of them deserve things like that. They're out here singing to a select group of people, and and you guys are very focused on. You nurture them, you take time to sign with them, you see them still
Every day.
and that music speaks the same way. So
I'd say my favorite moment was the first time we ever played Warped Tour, when we played Detroit Warped. It was downtown at Comerica Park, and I just remember being so happy. I was walking around the entire city. The time before we played the set, we played a little bit later on in the day.
Yeah, it was like 6 o'clock.
and you came back alive? You walked around the entire city?
Well, I mean, it's
A few blocks around there.
it's not that big of a city if you really think about it.
No,
And like,
downtown.
I don't know, I feel like what I was thinking about on stage is the fact that like Andy can actually relate with me the most too. Like, we had a lot of people at our school that like didn't really believe in us, and I was just happy that like when I was on stage I was thinking more of the fact that you can make it without breaking the mold of like just being a regular in society and going and doing a regular job. Like, you can follow your dreams and do what you want, and like do it with art and do it with something that you're passionate about, and it really can work out in the end. And that's what I was really, really happy about. It was really remarkable for me.
Amen.
Yeah, that show was dope.
That show was cool.
sick.
Yeah, I mean, Co-America Park shows were awesome. Those were real special shows. Those were real fun. I just remember, we'd use like the State Theater, the Fillmore for ticket box officing.
Yeah.
Kids would come around, and then you'd sit there at the end of the night and realize, you'd be sitting by your buses and you just start looking around at what a beautiful city Detroit is and was at one point, and it's nice to hear some good things happening for that city.
Yeah,
again, right
for
there.
sure.
I mean, they've supported music. When no one else would support music, Detroit was always there for the music, and those shows were great to be able to do.
Yeah, I'm going to expand on what Louis said a little bit with The Used. I think one of the most rewarding moments for me was playing the Fillmore in Detroit with The Used, because when I was about 16 years old, I saw them there with The Bled direct support, and both those bands completely changed my music taste, changed my life as a musician. And then getting to be direct support for The Used at the Fillmore was like at home. It was a very emotional night for me with my whole family there and everything. I looked out at the crowd and I just said, I was right there when I was 16 years old and I dreamed of doing this. So don't ever give up on what you want to do and keep pursuing it forever. And that was one of my favorite nights in this band ever.
All right. So now we're gonna, maybe have a little, kind of a fun thing, and and then it says, what was your most embarrassing moment on Warped Tour? But I'm gonna say probably the most embarrassing moment. It wasn't this band here. It was probably Yellow Card. When we were starting out, this tour, Yellow Card was one of those bands, and time's very important out on Warped Tour. Your stage managers, that's one thing everyone knows. Get your set time right. Well, Yellow Card came up on stage, and there was a guy, unfortunately, who passed away. His name was Stuart Teager. He was the guy who was like Pennywise's merch guy. He was like this. He was like a bulldog. Like, you know, when Bad Religion asked for 12 towels, he took 6 and ripped them in half and gave him 12. Now, that's how that's how he worked. You know,
awesome.
But Yellow Card came on stage, and that's the days of the big baggy skate shorts. Everyone was in the skate shorts, and the guitar player came up stage, and he's like, I have to take a dump, like really bad. I have to take a dump. And he's going, it's time. No, you get on stage now.
Oh God, I know what you're gonna say.
And the poor guy, like, you know, he doesn't know. He's got this guy that's like, he literally was just out of the pen. You know, he was an ex-con. A lot of the old Warped Tour guys were guys, you know, and they were very serious about their time, and because he thought he'd get in trouble if they went like a minute over, even though we could always make it up. Well, he went up on stage with a bad case of diarrhea with those baggy skate shorts.
Man.
And it was like one of those moments, and he had that accident somewhere around minute 23 of that set, you know? And unfortunately, Stuart was the kind of guy that when he walked off stage, and then it was kind of on the ground there, he gave him a towel and told him to go clean it up, you know? So can any one of you guys top that embarrassing moment on
Hell
tour?
no.
Wow.
I can't top that.
You know,
no.
I just had to say, you know, that story's been kind of like that Warped Tour legendary.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the stage manager, Stuart, and he was an awesome guy. He believed really in, you know, everything he did, and unfortunately he passed away. But, you
That's
know,
so embarrassing.
I know, that's, you know, any bands you just like you're looking forward to seeing, like, you know, you guys are on the road, you're touring. Any of these young bands out here that, you know, kind of caught your ear at all?
We've been like really broing down with Beartooth,
Yeah.
and I think we watch their set most nights because we all like the band too, and we like the guys. They've been killing it.
Paris is another band.
Paris.
Yeah,
like-
definitely. A lot of strong females out here this year.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
noticed? I mean, have you guys got a chance to check out like BB Rexa yet, or
No.
some of those guys?
No,
If you get
no.
a chance, I mean, this girl wrote, you know, Monsters for Eminem and Rihanna. She's,
Oh, wow.
she's on that. She's on a Nicki Minaj song. It's like, so people don't know. It almost
Oh,
sounds.
I've heard
it
of
almost
her.
sounds like she might be saying, but those are the songs she wrote, and she's only 22 years old.
Jeez.
So if you get a chance to get out there,
Yeah.
beautiful bodies, a lot of strong female acts out here this year. Big diverse lineup. You know, go by the comedy tent yet?
No, I want
I
to check
know,
that out though. I've been
yeah.
thinking about
Can I
that.
throw
We
a
gotta
couple
go check
jokes
that
at you?
out.
I'm becoming a comedian out here
Let's
myself.
hear it.
I have to find something.
Let's hear it, let's hear it.
So how many YouTubers does it take to put a pop-up tent up?
Oh, no.
I don't know.
I don't know. There's only 7. How many YouTubers did it take to put up a pop-up tent? Or how many Viners did it take to put up a pop-up tent? I don't know. They lost interest in 6 seconds. So we're actually have a comedy tent out there. We're letting parents in. Have you seen a lot of parents watching? You check. Has any of the parents come up? Last year was
There's been a few.
every time.
Yeah.
Last year was every time I die. I'd have dads coming up going, "Whoa, that band killed me!" Like, I never knew I'd like every time I die. So you know,
Who
it's-
doesn't?
You know, there's a lot of parents out here. I mean, what else you got? Anything else you want to tell your parents, your family? Still very supportive of what you guys are doing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Our parents at first were all like,
When you gonna get a real
you
job?
want to drop
Yeah.
out of, like, I was in culinary school, and they were like, you want to drop out of culinary school to do what? And I was like, I want to be in a band. They were like, okay, take a year, go for it. And so we all took a year off college, expecting to go back a year later, and then things worked out somehow, and all of our parents were like, yeah! Like, my parents show up wearing 4 layers of We Came as Roman stuff. Hats, sweater,
almost a little
t-shirt,
too much
shorts. I'm
sometimes.
like, okay, come on, guys.
Right.
Kick it back a notch.
Culinary school. How's the catering so far this year?
It's been awesome.
Yeah.
Yesterday was my favorite because it was pretty much exactly what I would eat for dinner. I had sweet potatoes, some rice, lots of veggies, and a big cut of prime rib. That was perfect.
Yeah, prime rib. Punk rockers eating prime rib. Yeah. We do try to feed everyone well on the tour. We know that, you know, keeping you guys fed and healthy is a good thing. All right. I don't know. What else you guys want to talk? It's getting hot in here. The generator's off. But the last thing we are going to do today is for a young lady named Emma at Disaster Walking. It's her birthday. Okay?
Aw.
So we are going to sing Emma Happy Birthday from the John Lennon Bus. You know, well, hopefully I get a chance to come back on the bus. This is an amazing facility. You know, it's been fun.
it's pretty nice.
I brought a few people out here, and already guys are getting together and collaborating. You know,
I'm kind of nerding out right now.
Yeah.
Seeing all this gear in here.
This
I'm
is
like,
cool.
"Ooh,
We all walked in, we were
look
like,
at that."
oh my God.
it's a great resource, you guys. The John Lennon Bus. I mean, they travel the country. You know, it's all a non-profit. You know, they're out here trying to support music, but it's really fun. It only took a couple days, and I start to see, like, you know who always picks up on this bus quick? Like the hip hop guys and the DJs. They're like
yeah.
they're swarming this bus. They just somehow can sniff this place out, and you know it's only taking you guys now what 5 tours or 3 tours of the U.S. Now you got the bus. I'm hoping to see a We Came as Romans collaboration with someone else out here. But let's sing Happy Birthday to Emma. I'm gonna put the mic more. Emma is her name. So on the count of 3, you guys, let's
Put
give
the
her a
mic
birthday.
towards the singers.
Yeah, I know. It's like this is where Kevin Lyman goes. Check it out. All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Emma. Happy birthday to you. Yeah.
And with that, we're checking out. We're checking out from the bus with We Came as Romans. You guys have a great summer. Come by Bus 1 and hang out sometime.
Thanks, Kevin.
We'll see you down
Thank
the
you,
road.
Kevin.
All right.
Thanks, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry about the phone. I can't get it.
Dude, it's all good, man.
It's all-